Hey guys, today I was just wanting to quickly go through and show how to do Elixir Interop with Gleam today. Um, Whenever I posted my video on Reddit for Erlang, someone had requested some Elixir, so I decided I'd just go ahead and do that. I decided to go to Hex and I just found a JSON module in Elixir and picked the first one I found, which was just JSON. Once you go here and you use Gleam build, it will go ahead and pull in the Elixir dependency. If you don't have Elixir installed, you will have to install it. Here, I created a decode.exe file, which is to wrap the decode function from JSON. You can't call macro functions from Gleam, so you have to wrap them in an actual function call. So here, I'm just creating a module called decode with a function called decode that returns our decoded JSON. Here in Gleam, you can mark a function as external. I'm saying Erlang because that's the build system or the runtime system. I'm using elixir.decode because Elixir is the language, decode is the module, and then I'm using decode, which is the name of the function within the decode module. I have labeled it decode item string because in this function over here we just take in one item. I know it's a string, so I'm going to say string specifically. And then it's going to return an A, which will just be our decoded object. Once I actually started trying to do this interrupt, I wanted to play around with it, so I created a JSON file, and I wanted to actually parse this and deserialize it into a Gleam type. It took a lot of my day to write this code. It's not super long. It's also not elegant though, but I think it gets the job done. And if anyone has any critiques on how to make this better, or maybe some just Gleam idioms I'm missing to make this simpler, please comment. But for now, I wanted to go ahead and create a JSON object. It has this is to represent a character. The character has name, stats, and advanced skills. So I created stats so I could actually figure out what those concrete types are. So there's an attack and a defense. Attack's an integer, defense is a string. Character is the actual concrete type. So there's the name, the stats list, and then the advanced skills, which were just a list of strings. Then we have the actual way I recursed and was able to decode the object from Elixir. This comes to you as a dictionary.fromList object. It's just a dictionary of dictionaries, basically. So I had to figure out how to work with that. And the easiest way I could figure out how to do that was to create this custom type called field that has a root, a complex field, and a field object. Root is your actual document. Complex field is any field that's nested. It has more values inside of it. And then we have field A, which is just a normal key value field. So once I created that, I had to create the parsers to go from these dynamic types that I don't know what they are from Elixir yet, what they were from the JSON. So I had to create generators of int, of string. It's just simple case of the result of my functions later, which are the parsers. Just take that result, get the field, get the value, turn it into a dynamic. From the dynamic, use the dynamic dot whatever function, int, string, bool, to parse it. So of int uses int, of string uses string, of list uses list, and then deserialize character gets the object, turns it into a root. So object is my JSON. I turn it into the root of the document. There, I create my stats list, which is the attack type with this function get inner field, which is my way of recursively going through these dictionaries and finding nested fields. It uses a list of strings. So in my case, I have stats like so there's a stats list. So I can do stats list, and then from there I can say I want to get the attack. which you can see up here, stats, attack. This way I can give it a list of the routes to take to get to your value. So I can say, go up here to my JSON document, find the stats, find the attack, parse it into a 25. So get inner field just goes through, and this case statement is the return. And what I do is that as I pop your list of strings for your how to find your value, I convert it into the custom type it needs to be. So if it starts out as a root item, it just needs to go ahead and go to get inner field with a complex item. Because we're no longer at the root, we're at a field that has a complex type. If we have a complex type and we're at the end of our fields, we have found what we need to find, so we can return it. If there's anything else greater than that one, it needs to go ahead and keep going. So if it's 0, return it. If it's 1, go deeper. I really should not error here. Well, I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking, but this is kind of a good time to fix this. Anything other than, let me Control Z. Sorry, here, anything, as long as the list is greater than 0, we can just keep going longer. So I'm not entirely sure. Yep, so then we can take rid of the error. Okay, so now we're good. Sorry. So now just recursively go through, find what you need. So my stats list, I create the attack and the defense, get inner field, I pass it the root, I pass it the path, so stats, attack. I convert it to an integer. I convert defense to a string. Advanced skills is a list of strings, so I get my field, and then I use my ofList function, and I actually passed it dynamic.string to tell it to give me my list of strings. Name is just a get field from the object. I don't have to actually use the root because I'm not traversing, so I can get it straight from the object this time. And then I can use just that, the name, so, and then turn it back into a string, and I have my name. And then I can assign it all to the character. So all of that fun to say, if you come up here, I run the code, it works. There's my character, James, attack 0, defense, you know. So hopefully that shows some people how to work with dictionaries a little bit, how to work with all these result types, playing with custom types to take dynamic objects and make them more concrete. Or even in this case, the being able to work with the type I got back from Elixir. I need to be able to work with that correctly. So being able to create this recursive field type to truly document what is my object after decoding. I mean, that's pretty nice. So there you go. I hope people learned something. I hope that helps people figure out how to play around with their own libraries and their own Elixir packages they want to work with. I spent a couple hours working through this, so it takes work to do this, guys. But if you want to use it, that's how. Thank you.